So I was asked this question recently: why do I hate landscape photography? So if you've seen me in Facebook groups and other social media, you've probably heard me say stuff along the lines of I hate landscape photography has no interest in me, landscape photography is crap, etc, etc. The truth is, I don't actually hate landscape photography at all. When I started getting back into photography in sort of 2010, landscape photography was pretty much all I did. But for me, the main benefit of landscape photography wasn't the creation of the images at all. It was the alone time, the time to reflect, the time to be on my own, the time to focus on something, pardon the pun. That's what I really enjoyed about landscape photography. The images that I produced were a by the by, okay sort of side product of that. The one big thing I would say that landscape photography has going for it is it's the perfect environment in which to learn how to use your camera. You don't have the rush or the pressure of having people in front of you, even if you're going out for specific times like golden hour, etc. Even though those are quite fleeting, most people will go out a little bit before and then they get themselves set up and they don't have the pressure of like, get that shot. And the landscape isn't going anywhere. You can always come back tomorrow and it's forever changing, so you're always learning. In fact, I watch landscape photography channels here on YouTube. I enjoy Thomas Houghton. I do like to watch Gary Goff, Gareth Danks, and a few others. I'll put links in the description below the channels I watch. But what I don't like about landscape photography, and I suppose this relates back to being a learning ground for using your camera, is everybody does it. It's where everybody starts. It's the first thing people do because they're getting to use things and there's not as much pressure. And that results in 99.9% of all landscape photography shared online being utter shit. Utter shit is probably a bit of an exaggeration, to be fair. Not very good, not very inspiring, not very interesting perhaps. A lot of it shows extreme competence in using the camera, balancing the exposure, but zero creativity in composition, and often total over-the-top use of post-processing techniques. So I don't hate landscape photography. I hate bad landscape photography. When you do stumble across something that is absolutely great, that really is in that 0.00005% of photography that's really good, often you'll find that the exposure and things aren't perfect, but there's something about it, there's something, a different element that makes that particular photograph great. And I think perhaps because I'm not a primary landscape photographer, controversial opinion, I perhaps find it easier to dismiss some stuff as not that great. If you've put all the hours into getting an exposure and getting things right, putting the right fillers on and all that sort of stuff that goes in with landscape photographer, humping your tripod up the top of a mountain, etc., then I think there is possibly a tendency to be overly pleased with the end product because you know what went into it. As somebody who doesn't do that sort of thing, I think you can be more dismissive of the end product and actually think, well, I've seen this shot 100 times before. And that's essentially it. I don't hate landscape photography. I still take landscape photographs. They're not very good. I don't go out at the right time of day. I have young kids and a job. I tend to just take them when I'm out and about doing normal things, just to remember the moment. They're never really good enough to be showing or trying to sell, etc. I rarely carry a tripod anywhere, so they're not really the traditional landscape photographs, pretty much always handheld. I'm with James Poppis on that, and that I don't really see the point of a tripod a lot of the time, unless you're somebody like Gary Goff who shoots long exposure all the time. Therefore, obviously, you need a tripod for that. But yeah, I don't hate landscape photography. I just think most of it's rubbish.